Emergency, my team's going to the Sweet 16 recap. I was entirely intentional on not recording anything again this weekend behind the curtains. My life has been hell. Our newborn is just not sleeping at all. Shout out to my wife who is allowing me graciously to do this upstairs right now. But the plan is not to be here. Just like the plan for Michigan basketball, I think a week and a half ago was not to be here. Hey, Cart, just for a second, you see this?
Yeah,
You know what this is?
that's a high noon vodka iced tea.
That's a vodka iced tea high noon, you could say. Some people say this is my favorite beverage. You know that?
Yeah, I heard that before.
It's real good, right? I really enjoy these, but you know what? It's kind of crazy. This isn't a drink I've had in a while, right?
I would say so.
I don't normally drink. The last one I had one of these was summer. That might as well have been years ago at this point, right?
Yeah,
Card, I forgot. Sometimes it's fun to do the things you love after a couple years of not doing them. To that note, I would like to shotgun my favorite beverage in honor of my team getting back to something that I've loved doing. I've loved going to Sweet 16s, plural, many times in my life. By the way, some programs could never, but in year one, we're back where we should be, and it's time to celebrate. I'm really bad at doing this, you
that's
know
going.
that.
I usually do that for you. That's going everywhere.
Yeah, that, and I forgot you have to actually crack it too.
Y- You're good. This is aesthetically, it doesn't look as you're struggling as much as you actually are, because I know you are.
Struggle?
That was
Struggle.
it. Did you
Brother, it
just
may be the
did you
sleep
just smack that?
deprivation. I've never felt better. Put us away. Can I keep doing the victory lap thing before we get to the recap? Why can't anyone put us away? Step on our throats, choke us. I said I was here to save the Big Ten. And then I was wrong because the only person on earth capable of shutting us down, closing the door, close the casket is you. You're the only one that could. And you did. We were dead. We were left for dead.
Hmm.
And then they couldn't put us away. And
Yep.
then you guys congratulated John Tanji. And then nobody was put away. And then we were there. All of a sudden, there's a banner. All of a sudden, the hardest draw in the tournament, that was the takeaway. That was everyone's takeaway. Michigan got the worst draw in this tournament, seated below a team you just beat twice in a 3-week span. Seated below a team you beat for the title by 2 seed lines that you swept in the regular season. And you get two teams uniquely propositioned to exploit the two things everyone says you're the worst at. Hey, get the best turnover margin team in the country. Ooh, everyone's darling Cinderella. How did that go? How did that go? And then game two, you know what? Here's your reward for that. Take the best rebounding program in the country. We out rebounded them by double digits. Rody Gale, legacy game. None of this makes sense. None of it makes sense. But I'm breathing. I'm here. And I'm staring down the barrel of the number one overall seed in the Sweet 16 next. A team who, by the way, my superstar bounced last year. And a point guard that, by the way, the number one seeds coach indirectly called pussy a week ago. And we rattled off 5 straight wins, hung a banner since. Let me sit back, relax, cross the legs, and say what I genuinely mean, Cart. Bring it the fuck on.
I like this version of you. This version's nice. I like this because the one little tiny little prick I can put in this is that all these things that you are saying, others said, you also said about your team.
Mm-hmm.
But you are now taking the mental approach of lining it the fuck up. I
Mm-hmm.
like that. I
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Well, I said it to my credit. I did say this on Selection Sunday, did I not?
About what?
Like, as we talked about Michigan's nightmare draw, I said this sucks.
Oh yeah,
But
yes.
since we got the banner, I like it. I want it
Yes.
this
You
way.
did say that. But and to your credit, I'm not saying you said that about the whole draw. You said you weren't you the UC San Diego thing, that was cute that everybody played into that. There was words uttered that you did not want this Texas A&M team between if you had to choose, which obviously like, okay, do I want Yale or Texas A&M? That's very obvious. But uh on top of everything you said, I just think we need to truly give this guy his flowers for how he's played. Uh, Rody Gale going 4 for 6 from three is the wildest shit. I don't think anyone could have predicted that happening. I don't think Roddy maybe himself could have predicted that happening. Just an insane performance by him. 26 points off the bench in 30 minutes in this game. Kaysen with a really good 20 minutes. I know you're going to get to that as well. But this to me comes down to Roddy Gale took that shit over.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't
Sorry,
seen that since the first day in the Big Ten tournament against AJ Hogarth.
I'm pretty sure I chipped a tooth as we do this, by the way.
Did
Sorry.
you like actually chipped one, or is this
I
a
think
bit?
I actually chipped a tooth. I'm gonna go look at the mirror after this, but I think I chipped a tooth.
I'll bite the fucking floor, G.
Ow. All
That's
right.
how it hurt.
Anyways, no, yeah, Roddy, let me segue into this from what you were saying. I did very incorrectly, but I stand by it, say that I wanted no part of Texas A&M. I still don't. I mean, I don't know how you watch this game and come away thinking it was like a great matchup for Michigan. It wasn't. Um, Texas A&M was up 10 with 13 minutes left. They were definitely stretching the lead. It was a battle of a first half. Wade Taylor had 2 fouls, didn't score in the first half, and yet Texas A&M led by 4. Like I didn't feel good at halftime. I didn't feel good 5 minutes into the second half. I felt like this was going down the same path that Michigan State and Illinois went in Ann Arbor. 2 teams who, by the way, I think did a lot of the same things A&M did to Michigan, right? Just punk them physically, punk them, wear them down with depth. And by the end of the game, you've created separation. I thought that's where this was headed with A&M. Rody Gale had other plans. And I will be point blank with you, Card. I think this was the nightmare matchup for Michigan. Now, A&M's not the best team in the world, but you correctly said it. We kind of called out San Diego before the game and said, it's not that scary of a matchup. They just got to play well. A&M was every bit the matchup nightmare that we thought they were for Michigan. And we can talk about how in the end Michigan did out-rebound this team. That was by far the most impressive thing that I saw. But if not for a all-time historic legacy performance from a guy who has been crucified, this is a loss.
Mm-hmm.
And that like they were down 10 and Rody Gale went on a personal 12-0 run to take the lead. That's what happened. Like you try to write the story of this game, there is no other part of the story. There's other things. Other guys did good. Vlad was good. Kaysen was good. Other guys bad. Whatever. Doesn't matter. The story of this game is that A&M was comfortably beating Michigan, and then Rody Gale hit 2 threes, had a couple layups. He had flying around offensive rebound tip outs. He got to the free throw line. He was sensational. This is the guy we thought we were getting in the summer. When we did all our lists, we had Rody Gale as the best player on this Michigan team. Card, I dead ass. I think this is who Dusty May thought he was getting.
Yeah.
I think he thought this was the guy on a team with Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden. He hasn't been the guy. He's been a disaster all season long. Card, I've never been more impressed with an individual surprise performance. This is the most surprising individual game I have ever watched from a Michigan player.
Yeah, especially the 3-point performance is what really shocked me too, because obviously we talked long and hard about Roddy's struggles from 3-point range, and yeah, it got to the point where his 3-point attempts were looking uncomfortable for him, like he was hurting shooting jumpers, and for him to provide this when you guys were down, and dog, y'all put up 56 points on one of the best defensive teams in the country in the second half, and we're down 10. Like this was. I mean, I might be speaking out of turn here, but like this wasn't a Michigan performance that I think we've seen at least in a minute. Not to the point where y'all come back when down in the second half and come back and win. Like y'all have made runs, but sometimes it's coming with y'all coming up short. For y'all to be down and then Roddy Gale to make that run that he had, it was just special. Truly a special performance from him, and one of the most special like when y'all needed it the most, he did it.
Carl, we used the term a lot. Legacy game.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most legacy game of all time.
Yeah, I'm not even a Michigan fan. I don't think I would allow any Michigan people to talk bad about Roddy Gale anymore. He did this for y'all. So like he's good now. What's the bar in Ann Arbor? Skeeps?
There's a couple, yeah.
Yeah, well, so I don't want to see Roddy Gale. I don't even know I don't want to see Roddy Gale play for any tequila sunrises or vodka Red Bulls anymore. Ever.
Yeah, I
He's
don't think
got
he
him.
will be anytime soon. I tweeted this at the end of the game. It was by far my biggest takeaway. But I want to own my part in this because you and I show face all season long. We make content. We try to be entertaining, and sometimes in the process of being entertaining, Cart, I will speak for me, not you. I will cross the line personally in a way that I shouldn't. I've made that mistake before. I always do my best to show face and admit when I'm wrong with stuff like that. And I don't want to say I was wrong with Roddy, but I made a lot of jokes at his expense based on how he played and assumptions about how he was wired and who he is. I mean, as of this morning, doing projections for next year's roster, any projection that I would put together does not include Rody Gale. That's just how it's been. I don't know how you could watch what's happened before today and say, let's run it back with that guy. And I've made songs where I literally made jokes about get rid of him. Like you've heard this. I've done this over and over and over again. Card, I've never been more impressed by a moment. Not even his play, but after this game, a game in which he hits 4 threes. That's more threes today than he's made since January 1st. On 35 attempts. He hits 4 threes. They needed every single one of them. He goes 8 for 8 from the free throw line, 26 points. He was the best player on the floor. And after this game, a Michigan win where they finally pull away for once, they put the microphone in front of him for the post-game interview and they say, Roddy, it's been a very tough season for you. How does this feel? What happened today? And the first words out of his mouth, I kid you not, Cart, the first words out of this kid's mouth after all he's been through, he talked about getting death threats from his old school and his new school. And the first words out of his mouth were, man, LJ Kaysen gave us the boost we needed today. And he's not wrong. Mm-hmm. But I've watched how many other guys, I'm not even going to name names. You can figure out who I'm talking about. How many other guys that got a bag to go play basketball succumbed to the pressure and the hate of the internet and failed loudly, and their season ended emotionally in tears? Rody Gale overcame all of that, got benched, and spit out a performance like this that singularly saved this season and then gave all the credit to a true freshman that was trying to take his spot. I have never in my life had more respect for a player in my program than Rody Gale and how I feel about him today.
Yeah, look, perfect performance, even down to the post game. Roddy Gale couldn't miss today. I wonder what his breakfast was like. He probably saved someone from a burning building or picked up someone's Uber tab earlier today. The greatest Roddy Gale day ever.
It's unbelievable. And you're right. So there's an element of this. It's not like, obviously it's fun. Obviously I'm making jokes, enjoying everything. Soak it all in, right? There's an element of this that is very much, we've had a great year already, so let's just enjoy this and see where we can go next. Because we got our banner. We got our banner last week. We've honestly done some things we weren't supposed to do in the first 2 games of this. Like, to make a second weekend in Dusty's first year, it's all gravy from here. Right. I can't sit here and look you in the eyes, Cart. I can't say I expect anything from this team anymore. I thought they'd lose to Purdue a week ago. And then I thought they'd lose to Maryland the next night. And then I thought they'd lose to Wisconsin the next night. And then I honestly thought we beat San Diego. But a lot of people thought we'd lose that game. And then I thought we'd lose to A&M. This team has just come together in a way nobody saw. Nobody's going to, with a reasonable brain, nobody's going to think they're going to beat Auburn. It's gravy from here. Let's just see. Play free. And all the game pressure, just like it did with A&M today when they were up 10, all the game pressure falls on the other team.
Yeah, can we talk about that?
Yep.
Wade Taylor, my brother. Yikes. Big yikes. Big yikes out of a lot of people in this basketball game, to be honest with you. Outside of, Anderson Garcia had a really good first half. Pharrell Payne was really good in this basketball game. He was once again dominant. Why don't I feel like they haven't been doing stuff for Pharrell Payne all year? Then all of a sudden the last 2 games, it's like, oh, I'm going to Pharrell Payne teams to death.
Pharrell Payne's on my that guy's got to get out of their list this summer. Respectfully to him.
Is he have eligibility left?
Yeah, he's a junior this year.
What?
He has 1 more year.
Yeah, go.
Go to
Get out.
I don't even know. Go to UConn and be what they thought Terrace Reed would be. You know.
I,
Oh, that's what we're doing. Yeah, sure.
hey, come on, man. Can I make this about me a little bit? But no,
I don't know, Cars. Shimon Zapala is going to take you to a title, I think.
I didn't get to talk about this with you yesterday, but he played 4 minutes and he actually didn't come out when the second half started, and I thought like we cut him, but then he ended up coming, but he ended up coming back with like
My
six.
sorry, now I got a tangent because this is how you can tell you and I haven't been able to do this in a couple days. Dog, the funniest shit to me about Michigan State's win was that after the game, everyone's doing the like, our bench outscored our starters. How crazy is that? No shit. You start a walk-on and you don't put him back in the game after. Like, what are we doing?
Oh man, hey, but once again, I don't think the NCAA was fully prepared for the Save the Big Ten movement coming into the tournament. By the way, they laughed at us, Gregory. I don't mean to make this about because this is your moment, so you can keep on cooking if you
No,
want.
it's our moment. It's our moment, Cart. It's our moment. And
No,
I'm glad you brought this
we
up.
are saving this shit. We saved it in the regular season, and they yell at the Big Ten about their March and say, "Oh, that team ain't going anywhere. Oh, Big Ten teams can't go anywhere in March."
Let me put the can I
Wisconsin's killing us, but that's because BYU's nice. But everybody
let's
else, we're cooking.
respectfully, in spirit, BYU is a Big Ten team, and we could argue we saved BYU. Like anything we've attached ourselves to has been incredible this year.
Yeah.
Permission to put on my Save the Big Ten chain.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me put this on. So we have to do a quick Save the Big Ten board meeting for a moment, but first, I'd like to congratulate you because this Michigan win, this Michigan Sweet 16 appearance is as much yours as it is mine. So congratulations to you. We did this entire thing together. I know that I will share in Michigan State's future success the same way that you are sharing in Michigan's success. This has been a tandem effort, and no one will ever take that away from you and I. Cart, congratulations on your role in this. Now let's have a quick board meeting. So are we letting the whole rest of the Big Ten continue saving the Big Ten with us in the NCAA tournament? Because to me, the Big Ten is already saved by us.
Mm-hmm.
But because we saved the Big Ten and the Big Ten is now naturally in such a healthy spot because we saved it, every team is like suddenly playing to their ceiling because they realize the standard is raised because we raised it. We started that ourselves. We singularly did this. And now Purdue and Illinois are like, oh shit, I can't flame out in the tournament and run this shit anymore. Let me like start to be good. So I'm all here for camaraderie. I want to see the Big Ten do good at this point. But I think in order for us to sort of make this a league-wide movement at this point, we would need to welcome Purdue fans and Illinois fans, maybe even Wisconsin fans and others that are still in this journey to go hashtag save the NCAA tournament with us.
If they'd like to be a part of it. I more than welcome it. I don't know about the front runner tendencies about letting them in right now, but but also like say the Big Ten was never about them. It was about us. That was a singular movement. I just had no idea the movement was going to take over the NCAA tournament. I'm sorry, I didn't know we started something so powerful. But now, if this is going to happen, this is going to happen until it comes in a crash course, and we're looking at a Sweet 16 and an Elite Eight with all Big Ten teams, and then we'll address it from there.
So I think here's where I'm at with it. I would formally like to invite Purdue, Illinois, and Maryland to save the NCAA tournament with us. Here's why I'm drawing the line there. BYU is more ours than Wisconsin is. We can't root against BYU for Wisconsin.
True.
And Oregon and UCLA, respectfully, not the Big Ten. Not my Big Ten, at least.
Not my Big Ten.
So I think we formally invite Illinois, Purdue, and Maryland on the rest of this journey with us. Don't worry, Cart and I already saved the Big Ten.
Right.
But now as part of us, you may join forces with us to save the NCAA tournament.
We'll welcome. This is a one-time offer too. It's a one-time offer, and we're dropping this recap shortly. I need an answer by noon tomorrow.
In writing, preferably.
Yeah, preferably in writing, and there is a $5 deposit.
But the door is open.
The door's open.
My one demand is that TKR can't keep calling us bozos.
Yes, and no more taping $20 question things.
And Illinois' official Twitter account can't keep subtweeting us.
Yeah, hey, what's up, man? What's up with that? Come Oh, we're just two guys. We're just two guys for the love of the game.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to help. Honestly,
Yeah.
again, I feel like we're dragging excellence out of these programs in a way that's never
Right.
been demanded by their fan bases
Right.
before.
We're the David Goggins. We're a little tough. We're a little tough, and sometimes we're a little rough around the edges, but we're gonna get the best product out there. Y'all hit 6 threes in this game, man.
1 by 12. Honestly, what the hell? Like, this is gonna kill our luck rating.
Dog, y'all put up 91 and only hit and shot 27% from three.
Yeah, okay. Can we do some actual like game talking points quickly? I know we're supposed to be out of here soon, but also like my team just made the Sweet 16 and I have 3 days of pent up recap energy that I haven't released. So like a little bit of, you know.
Yeah, cook up, yeah.
Yeah, okay. On the game, 48 rebounds for Michigan, 39 rebounds for A&M, 16 offensive rebounds for Michigan, 15 offensive rebounds for A&M. 10 offensive rebounds combined for Wolf and Golden. 6 offensive rebounds combined for A&M starters as an entire team. Card, I don't think it's exaggerating to say Michigan dominated the boards in this game. And it was led largely by their 2 7-footers, who I have called soft, as have many others. And they just were up for the challenge. What was
Yeah,
your
that
interpretation of that?
that's exactly how I put it. I'm not even taking. I don't want to take out the words out of your mouth and or not give this the credit that it deserves. But it quite simply is this: they said, "All right," like you know how you said line that shit up. Danny and Vlad like, "All right, line that shit up. Like we're like y'all think we're some hoes, kind of like we can rebound, we can do this. Like we got they can do this on a nightly basis. They got that in the game, like the offensive rebound, the defensive rebound, anything. Credit to Danny, for moments in this year, he has shown some moments of tenderness, right? And playing up against a physical front court like Texas A&M, you think that that could kind of be the team that looks at Danny and tries to, what I'm saying, give him a little something extra. Nah, none of that was flying. Not with Danny and or Vlad. Now, Vlad did get a little bit of Pharrell pain in his chest. He took that a few times, but I think for the most part they answered the call physically in this game, and they needed it. And when they do that, you get performances like this. And then Trey Donaldson, I don't even think he gets enough credit for people always look at what he does, scoring the ball wise. He's also like one of the better rebounding guards in the Big Ten. Like at his size, he has the ability to get the ball and push it and make some plays. And also, we didn't even speak on it. Trey Donaldson's the last month has turned into like the night time Donaldson. He does the big one. The big one. He wants that moment.
Dude, it is so strange because I truly think outside of the Michigan State matchups, Trey Donaldson has been like this psychopath, emotional, mental killer that has a knack for the clutch, that plays fearless. And against Michigan State, he just curls up into a ball and gets terrified. So, like, I understand we have a Michigan State audience that might watch this and is like laughing at the idea that Donaldson's some clutch guy. But he is. Like, Cart, he is a big moment guy.
The last month, he has been a big moment guy, literally every game
Except the Michigan State
except
games.
the Michigan State game. But that's the only one.
Yeah, I mean, look, he was benched in this game. I don't want to act like this was a great Donaldson performance.
I'm just talking about strictly like the big play.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
big
so Michigan led by 9 with 3 minutes left, and I got to watch this with my parents. They came over to hang with Banks and Murph.
I was can I ask how Dave's feeling about this? He's gotta be feeling happy.
He is a little like, can I get emotional for a moment?
Sure.
Can I get emotional? Is it lame if I get emotional about this?
No, go ahead.
Maybe I'm sleep deprived or something. I don't know, man, but
Well, you are.
I am.
You are.
I am. Let me take a big swig of this Jack and Diet and then let me get emotional for a moment.
I feel like I need a beer. Do I need a beer for this?
You can, yeah. You want to get one?
Yeah, why not? If we're gonna get
Yeah, you
emotional.
go get that in your hands, and then I'm gonna get emotional for a moment. All right, so my fandoms have been on display for the world to see for 3 years now, and That's not the easiest thing in the world, given who I am and my background and the fact that I'm a Michigan State student that roots for Michigan basketball. It doesn't make sense. It sucks that it turned out this way, to be honest. It would have been a lot easier for me to just fall in love with the school I went to for basketball. I couldn't get there simply because I have so many good memories of being a child watching these games with my family. Just couldn't get there. Like I grew up in Saturdays watching Michigan football. My mom and dad were like my everything. And I just loved sports in a way that it's always been my life. But it's always been because like I enjoyed that family time so much. And now we're in a spot where like I'm a dad. I got two kids and my parents moved here to be 5 minutes away just so they could help and see these kids and to be able to like have them in our house just be together and watch this run that's making no sense while my mom's holding my newborn and my dad's in the other room missing the final 4 minutes playing with my daughter wearing his lucky Michigan shirt. Like it just is crazy. And it makes me emotional because like I it's always been like family that has kept me rooted in supporting this team and this program. And we all like my parents are not the biggest basketball people. They're pretty much your prototypical Michigan fans. Like my dad pays attention to Michigan basketball because he knows I love this and I live for this. He's a football guy through and through. And he bought a season ticket package. We went to 5 games this year. I know I'm just rambling at this point, but he knows more about basketball than he ever has because he knows it matters to me. And I hope one day to be able to like adopt my kids' passions that they uniquely come up with the same way my dad has with mine. And this was just a full circle moment, man. Like my best memories through life have literally been watching wins with my dad and mom. And today we got one that I never expected. So
Shout out,
my newborn's on
shout out, man.
watch because he has no adversity right now.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
a problem.
When were we gonna bring that up? So you and I, both boy dads, by the way, that talk to me really, really nicely.
Oh,
The throne is set. Whoever hates sleepers, y'all are screwed. I hope your children don't hate sleepers like y'all do, because the throne's being taken. They're
well,
being raised in this.
Hurt's going to be running the pick and roll. Respectfully, I don't mean to make your man the screener, but like little man Leon, I think he's going to be a pick and pop threat, but he
Yep.
needs spacing. And y'all got a shooter with size. That's what I'm telling you right now. He's got size, okay? There's a few things we're working on that I don't like early, but
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. But the main message here is that in the first year of life for the little ones, banners. Immediate
you're right.
banners. After you had 8 wins last season, after me myself have spent the last 6 years with 15 losses, we're here now.
we really are. Doug McDaniel died for this. Never forget. The one
Hey,
thing that hangs over this that I really regret is that Doug is not here to experience this with me. I wanted this moment with Doug, and I thought I would get it at one point.
that does suck. That does
It does.
suck. Flip that with a little sunshine here. Hunter and AJ went out in the first round.
Doug, Dusty May. LJ
Wait,
Kaysen
wait, wait. They said Pat Kelsey, G.
LJ Kaysen has more NCAA tournament wins this year than Hunter Dickinson did with Bill Self. Oh, and we tried to tell him, Doug, we went to Spiro's studio and I tried to tell him and nobody listened to me.
Woo.
Yeah.
Woo. You got plans next weekend, don't you?
Carl, you know what this is? We kind of know ball, man. We kind of know ball. Sometimes my Hogard takes miss, but we kind of know ball.
Every now and then, I'd like some credit for knowing ball.
Okay. Other things back to the game. I'm emotional right now. You can tell I'm sleep deprived. Vlad Golden's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think the major thing that's been lost in this Michigan run from all the close games is this, Cart. In a 1-game sample size, forget everything else. I'm not talking 30 games, not talking a season, not talking a tournament, talking 1 game, 40 minutes, line it the fuck up. This team's impossible to prepare for because you can't simulate Vlad and Danny.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of it is like you can make them uncomfortable, right? Like I think like we talked about how when Vlad gets pushed off, sometimes he sees double teams and he does the flaily thing, but also he's realized that to stop that, he just doesn't get pushed off. He just catches it extremely low and finishes. And um, it it's not saying that you use the word unstoppable. I do think that part of beating Michigan, though, you do have to have a really good effort on those guys. Um, you got to do some different things because like Vlad's gonna get his. Even the games that Michigan State won, like Vlad was cooking that game. It
Yeah.
just was everybody else wasn't really in the spot to want to step up. But yeah, it's unique. We tried to say it, and I know that the results didn't match up with the uniqueness in that stretch at the end of the season, but the 2 7-footers thing is very unique. And 2 7-footers with one of them who's able to go nine, like you can't foul him. He goes 9-11 from the free throw line.
Well, that's the thing. Vlad's such a good free throw shooter. I just don't. How do you simulate it? Like you're A&M, you're San Diego. Fuck it, you're Auburn, right? You're preparing for Michigan. How do you simulate 7 foot 250, 7'1", 250? Even if you have practice players, even if you have scout team, whoever you want to call in, you can't simulate that. You
Yeah.
cannot scout team that until you get under the bright lights. And I feel like that is the thing that's been lost in this run. And it's a credit to Dusty May because I called this out in the summer and I was wrong. Dusty was so unconventional in what he did here. This is not what Dusty did at FAU that worked. He
Yep.
built a completely different style team than anything he's done before in his career because it was what was best available to him. And he does it like Danny Wolf made it clear, I want to come to Michigan. Dusty was like, I can bring Vlad with me. Oh shit, I have these two. Let's make it work. And he has loudly, largely, emphatically made it work. And I just feel like as you get further and further in this tournament card in a single game sample size, I don't care how good you are. I don't care what the thing is that you quote unquote should exploit from Michigan. The bottom line is this. It's all talking points until the ball is tipped and you're looking up at 2 7-footers.
Yeah.
And I think
Yep.
A&M is a tough team, a physical team. They're 6'8" in the front court. And they were bothered in the paint. They shot 45% in the paint in this game. They were out rebounded. Michigan had 6 blocks. That's double what A&M had. They
Mhm.
were uncomfortable down low in this game because they could not simulate and prepare what Vlad and Danny would look like. And look, the rest of the team is flawed. Rody Gale's not always going to do this. Trey Donaldson is not always going to have the clutch shot. And Amari Burnett got benched for being unplayable in this game. We'll talk about that quickly. But the bottom line is this. Vlad and Danny alone make this team special.
Yep.
And if you get the other stuff, this team's nasty. If you get nothing, this team is still a tough out because it's really hard to prepare for that. And I feel like that's been lost along the way. Michigan State's dominance of this team at the end of the regular season kind of killed that mojo. And the
Yeah.
narrative just became it's all close games. This team's not tough.
Michigan
No,
State,
this team's a
well, also
problem.
Michigan, yeah, like Michigan State's also just good. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
they do that to teams, like
Right.
that happens. So it's you know, I'm sure that Michigan, even if they don't want to admit it, they would love another chance to get a shot at Michigan State if it gets to that point with a chance to go to the Final Four. What else could you ask for?
Can we bank that and come back to that at the end of the video? Because I
Yeah.
have a note on that.
Yep.
Okay. Um, LJ Kaysen. I screamed his praises in the exhibitions. I compared him to Damian Lillard. I said this in the last video. I basically thought his season would be what Jace Richardson's has become. I didn't think he'd be a lottery pick, not as good as Jace, but like that type of impact. Like he becomes a starter and he's a star.
Yeah.
Thought that was coming. Didn't come. He's been erratic for 2 months. He didn't even play. Justin Pippen played over him. He's been impactful in a series of games. I thought this was the best game, real game of LJ Kaysen's career. 11 points in this game. That's his second highest total. His highest total is actually the first game of the season. So it's been a very up and down year. But 11 points against this A&M defense. 3 for 5 from the floor with a huge three. Got the free throw line 5 times, hit 4 of them. 3 assists to 1 turnover. He showed you all the signs, all of the reasons that I believe he will be a star in the future. I'm not being pushed off of that. I think this kid will start as soon as next year. And I think there will be a moment where he's one of the best players in this Big Ten conference. What did you see from him?
Yeah, I think that, it's got me thinking why he didn't play more. I mean, obviously there were some moments where he played more and didn't be productive, but you just look at like the last, 5 game sample size outside of the Maryland game. He didn't really do much in that game. He played 7 minutes, had 2 turnovers, so that doesn't count. But otherwise, like you are now putting LJ on the floor and he's being productive. And even outside of the production, now I can see the vision. You know what I'm saying? Like I see a guy that I can see being in this conference and being really good. Now I don't know how good that is, but you know, I was making jokes that like LJ Casey would end up back at like some Florida school or something like that, or end up in the MAC. That's not the case. He's gonna be a good player. He's got the demeanor, he's got some shit to him. And I think that's key too. Like I don't think many Michigan there's a few that at times have shit to them. LJ Kaysen should be in the category of Michigan players that got some shit to them.
Look, easier said than done because he's been erratic. He's had bad moments. And I didn't love his involvement in the whole Michigan State half court thing. But Cart, this is how I described it to a friend today in text. LJ Kaysen is just delusional enough to not notice how physical A&M is.
Hmm.
And I think that's how he played, right? Like early on in this game, it was kind of a feeling out period for all the Michigan guards. Gale wasn't great immediately. Burnett was unplayable immediately. Donaldson and Rubin were all over the place early to the point that Donaldson got benched and Rubin, it took him 30 minutes to get good. LJ checked in and like immediately made shit happen.
Right.
He had a 5-point run and an assist in like his first 2 minutes on the court. And there's just a fearlessness to the way he plays. And there's an eye-popping, like you can see this in it. He gets wherever he wants with the ball. Like he can blow by defenders. He can get to the rim. He had a pass today that was the biggest wow moment of his season where he basically just drew 3 guys and in trees, threw it to Vlad for a dunk. But I don't know, man. He's a long way away from what I still think he can get to, but this is the version of him that I expected from the start of the season. I thought he was critical in this game, and I think that's why Rody Gale gave him a lot of love in the postgame as well. Namari, 13 minutes total in this game, season low for him. How worried should I be on that?
What is this like the third game in a row this happened?
No, I would say this one's pretty singular. He played 31 minutes against Wisconsin, hit 2 threes, 25 minutes against San Diego, hit 2 threes. In this game, 13 minutes, 0 for 2 from the floor, 0.0 rebounds, 0 assists, 1 turnover.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're gonna get what you're getting from Gale, and then you're able to get, if you're able to get that from Gale, I feel like that's who it comes at the expense at in this case.
I think you're right. I think maybe a reminder in the exhibition games that I went to for this team, Namari Burnett did not start. It was supposed to be Donaldson, Gale, Jones, Wolf, Goldman. Namari Burnett was the 6th man. And Reuben Jones, I think, got sick or got hurt very quickly. Namari took his spot in the lineup. And then when Gale started struggling, he stayed. Reuben Jones came in the lineup. So maybe a reminder that if Gale is the fully realized version of himself, I think Dusty May would prefer Namari Burnett as a 6th man. But in this game, I actually will give credit to Dusty. He read this on the fly correctly. Namari was really struggling against A&M, just really struggling against their physicality, their speed, all of it. And I think had he played, it probably would have been some empty minutes. And ultimately, you go to Gale and Gale spits out the performance. Like Dusty moved the chess pieces right? That's what happened in this game.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, you would have thought. And the thing is, like, some might say, "Oh, well, could it come at the expense of Reuben Jones?" Well, Reuben Jones is giving you one. He hit a 3 in this game, but Reuben Jones gives you 7 rebounds, 4 assists, the defense, the steal. So it's like I feel like if you got to juggle those guys, it's kind of like you play who is going to give you something, and unfortunately, like it comes at the expense of Namari Burnett if that's going to happen.
Quick hitters, Danny Wolf, make a layup, please. Please.
That first half was insane.
Please make a layup, Danny. Please. I'm now calling him NBA Wolf Boy. That's his new nickname for me. I wish I would have had that in February. Yeah, look, Danny, good riddance. Love you. It's been a great season. Go get your bag. You're going to be a first round pick, regardless of if you play well for my team or not. You took us to a second weekend. Honestly, I don't feel that you were necessarily the most important part of this in the last couple months, the way I hoped that you would. But the potential is clearly there. Some team at the end of the first round is going to fall in love with you. You should go capitalize and get yourself the Jewish bag that your family has deserved. With that said, you're going to shoot like 30% in the league from two. Like if you can't finish over A&M, who are you finishing over in the league?
That's a fact.
I will be stunned if like 3 years from now we don't look and Danny Wolf's shooting like 29% from 2 point range. He can't finish. He cannot finish. And he has so much exciting other stuff to him, but he can't finish. If he made his layups in this game, Michigan was like in the coast is clear. They were going to lose the game because Danny Wolf couldn't make layups until Rody Gale stepped in and saved the day. Anything on A&M worth mentioning before I get to my concluding thoughts?
Just a terrible. I think they just fell apart. They really fell apart. Like you look at some of the performances by some of these guys. Also, they could not stop fouling themselves. They were hacking, and there's a bit of this to the teams that play like this, though. I think, right? And certain teams can't get away with it because of the depth on their team. But whether you wanted to admit it or not, I'm not saying anything about if it was fouls, if it wasn't, because that's not that. I don't think the referees had anything to do with this game. But I think you could admit this though, G. If there are certain referees or certain games where they make it known that they're going to let guys play a certain way. In this one, I thought the refs made it very clear that they're not going for like that A&M let you just maul you, right? Like they made that very clear. And there was no adjustments from A&M on that end. And I honestly put that on Buzz Williams more than anything for not kind of maybe putting that into his team's mind. But it was very evident to me, at least watching it, that this game was going to be called a certain way. And you got to adjust. I didn't think there was much of an adjustment from A&M. And also just not even looking at that, your star guard went 4 for 15, 1 for 8 from 3 and fouled out in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do with that? Wade Taylor's been in college for like 6 years and he fouls out in 25 minutes and drops a stinker like this proportion, you're not going to win.
Here's what I would describe big picture for A&M that would frustrate me if I was a fan. This is year 3 of this little run. And it's going to come to an end because we don't know necessarily what's back. I'm not saying Buzz is going to fall apart, but like Zurich Phelps, senior, Wade Taylor, senior, Obaseki, senior, Henry Coleman, senior, Anderson Garcia, who was great today, senior, Jace Carter, senior, Hayden Hefner, Hugh Hefner's son, grandson, whatever, senior, CJ Wilcher, senior. I just named 8 seniors. This was the year for A&M. This ain't year 1 of Dusty May. This was year it. It was year it for A&M, okay?
It's a bar.
It's a bar. I have enjoyed watching this program, man. I've been a part of the Big Bets on Campus Action Network pod the last couple of years, and Stuckey loves these guys. Not to name drop Stuck, but like he every single year he comes in with an A&M Final Four ticket and just is like wants to be a believer because this brand of basketball is great. Never get out toughed. Always get the rebounds, and if you make shots, you don't lose. That's what A&M is. The bottom line is this. They missed a bunch of shots this year. They haven't fixed that. And as a program, at the end of this 3-year run, you made the first weekend in 23 after going 15-3 in SEC play, lost in the first round. You make the round of 32 in 24. You make the round of 32 in 25 and lose as a favorite. Be hard to stomach. Not make 1 second weekend with this group that is number 1 offensive rebounding every single year with Wade Taylor, a superstar in the backcourt, and they nailed the transfer portal. Pharrell Payne rocks. Zurich Phelps is good. Like this team theoretically did everything right to make a Final Four run. And to get out of it at the end of it with it, you're going to lose all these guys and you never make a second weekend is just some shit I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy card.
Yeah, facts.
It's tough. With that said, Wade Taylor. Come on, man. Come on. Like, I've been a guy that defends you. I like betting on you. I believe you have some big game shit to you. MFer, you were 3 for 14 when you hit your final shot of your career and stare down everybody in the Denver area. Like, congrats. You pushed it back to 4. It was a 25-9 run from that point, and you went 0 for 4. I couldn't be less scared of you. I couldn't have been less scared of you when you did that.
Mm-hmm.
And you stared down Rody Gale, who, by the way, came out of that timeout, had an offensive rebound and a 3. That's how you go win a game. Something that I've never seen Wade Taylor do. Wins a cute little regular season game. Never seen him do it in the postseason. Never will see him do it in the postseason until he's with the Shanghai Sharks.
Sayonara.
Okay. Concluding thoughts? I feel like I had 2 more final things to hit on. One of them is very clear in my brain right now, but I think I'm missing the other one. Can you stall for me until I come up with it?
Success in year 1. That's all there is to say. Why not? Underdog role. Playing with house Wolverines.
I've asked you this multiple times in the last couple of weeks. Does this do anything to your perception as a rival fan of Dusty May?
Yeah. Yeah.
To be honest, it does.
Yeah.
Because like
impressive. It's impressive.
The whole thing with him prior to Michigan that got him this job was basically the March run.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's pretty validating to immediately hit a Sweet 16 in the new school.
Yeah. Also, like, he flamed out in last year's tournament at the hands of Boo Booey in the first round game. And then his first year at Michigan, in 2 tournament settings, he wins the Big Ten tournament. And then he goes on and he is making a Sweet 16.
Yeah. I really hope Owen Freeman enjoyed what he saw today. Well, because the element of Dusty that I feel like isn't talked about, Cart, he's kind of a killer with shit to him in that regard, too.
Like the portal?
Well, let me just frame how did this team get here. Everybody, I don't know why we got here this way, but somehow the consensus perception of this team and the players on it is that Dusty didn't earn any of this. Like, the talking point, I know it's from texting, like, not to throw him under the bus because I love the guy, but like, we've texted DK a little bit about this, and it's kind of like, well, let's see what he is after Vlad. Like, okay, Vlad came with him. It's not like John L. and Elijah came with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like for whatever reason, there's no credit given to him for Danny. It's just kind of like, oh, Danny grew up a fan. It didn't matter. Like, no. He convinced Danny to come to Michigan quietly under wraps when North Carolina wanted Danny. Mm-hmm. Like, that's an accomplishment, not like you stumbled into this. So to hear like immediately from this season and the success he's had and the team he built into like, it's rumored that Owen Freeman has quietly signed to Michigan for months is kind of like a whoa to me as a fan. It's like, who is this guy that I thought was like this mild-mannered, nice guy? And instead he's been doing a petty press tour, possibly quietly inking the best center in the portal right now.
Yeah. Oh, now Owen Freeman's the best center in the portal?
I think, listen, I will say this before he commits or does not commit to my team. I am not an Owen Freeman guy, just like I am not a Vlad Golden guy.
What?
I think he'd crush in the Michigan system. I don't like how he's wired.
You're not a Vlad Golden guy?
Who's a better center than Owen, though? In the portal right now, who's a better center?
There isn't one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There might be one in a couple weeks, but
yeah, but right now. No.
Like to quietly wrap that up would be a, oh my God, he has shit to him thing.
Oh yeah.
Which I think has been the story of the last 2 weeks. Like when you lost to Michigan State on senior day, handled that the way you did, basically flipping 2 middle fingers up to the world and saying whatever the hell you want. To be honest, I criticized him.
Yeah.
But to back that up with 5 straight wins is like, I don't even know what I'm dealing with a coach right now.
That's fair.
Okay. All right. I won't make you sit through any more of this. I'm sorry.
We're good.
The Michigan State elephant in the room.
Michigan State elephant.
We're doing this a little preventatively because, look, Michigan is staring down the best seed, the number 1 overall seed in the Sweet 16. I will not pick Michigan to beat Auburn. They shouldn't. Probably won't happen. If they do, and Michigan State takes care of business, Michigan State and Michigan would meet in the Elite Eight. Obviously, I think from a Michigan State fan perspective, it would be logical for you guys to want Michigan and not want Auburn, right? Why would you want Auburn? They're better than Michigan,
Yeah.
even throwing everything else out the window. I think it would be logical for me as a Michigan fan to hope that Michigan State loses before that moment. Like if Michigan's going to make the Elite Eight, it would be logical for me to hope it's anybody else but Michigan State. You guys are the 2 seed. Theoretically, you're the best team from that side of the bracket. Throw everything else out the window. There it is. But now I'm asking you to not throw everything out the window and just psychologically talk. Forget the bracket. Forget who you could or could not play.
Yeah.
Do you want to see your rival with a Final Four on the line, yes or no? I want you and I to both answer that question.
Yes.
Throwing everything else out the window. Like if you could replace Michigan with a similar caliber 5 seed, you want Michigan for a third time with a Final Four on the line.
Okay, I might have missed something, but I'm saying out of the teams that we could like, it's either.
I don't want that. I want you to throw context out because obviously,
I'll take Alabama State.
well, that's not what I'm doing either. Obviously, you would rather play Michigan than Auburn for a bazillion reasons. I'm saying this in your heart of hearts, in your bones, in your soul, are you craving Michigan with a Final Four on the line?
Yeah.
Because I would have said coming off the last matchup, right? Coming off when you beat us on senior day and we had the spat at midcourt before Michigan like flipped their season around.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would have sat here and been like, dog, I wish we could play Michigan 100 more times.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Michigan would have sat here and said, I never want to see Michigan State again.
Yeah.
But the reality is the last 2 weeks, Michigan has flipped in a way none of us saw coming to the point that for me, speaking for me, I mean this genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
I am rooting for that. Just the way people will think I'm lying. I was rooting for Auburn. I want the thing people say we can't do at this point.
Yeah.
And if I'm talking a matchup with you, a matchup with Michigan State, save the Big Ten, by the way, my Spartans. If there's a 2% chance that we win that game and a 98% chance that you win that game, the 2% would be so sweet if it happened that I could stomach the 98%. That a better team that's already owned me is going to just beat us.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's something that if it's not weighing on you, given what Michigan has, maybe it should. Like, there is a world these two teams play with a Final Four on the line and all of that dominance that Michigan State had toward Michigan should still be there. It's also a different version of Michigan than it has been. It would be crazy. Like I kind of just want to know psychologically where you're at. The internet for us would break. This will end sleepers if we get to that point.
For sure. Yeah.
But we might be one game away from that point if you guys just handle
it's two things here. This is what I'm deciding between. One, I want my respect for Michigan State, and I want to beat the team that everyone thinks is the best team in the sport in Auburn.
On Auburn.
Like I want that. I see what people say about what Auburn will do to us. I want that. I really want to see that line that shit up. Janai Broom me. I also will take on New Michigan as well. I will gladly welcome that. It will end us though, one way or the other. Actually, I don't know. Honestly, the only way it ends us is if Michigan wins.
Which neither one of us think would happen.
There's more of a chance they win than I'll give you this. I think y'all have more of a chance than if you would have asked me like 2 weeks ago.
Well, I would hope you can admit that. Like
I don't know what you want from me here.
Nothing. I was just genuinely wondering because we were doing this in the Discord back and forth with some Michigan State fans, and like a few of them, again, they should feel this way. A few of them were like, I want Michigan again and again and again and again.
See, and okay, all right. If that's the case, then like, yes, I will welcome that. Yes, I will play Michigan. Yes, Michigan, I think, is easier to beat than Auburn. But also, I'm at the point where I'm on some sicko shit. Give me Auburn.
Okay. Well, listen, here's what I would have said coming into the tournament. I did say this to you offline. I said, literally, Card, I said this word for word. I can't even get my hope up for a tournament run because I know that if we did make a tournament run, you would be sitting there and we can't beat you. That was my approach coming into this tournament. But also, I said we had a 0% chance to beat A&M. And now here we are. This is just one of those things, man. It doesn't make sense. But this Michigan team is playing their best basketball of the season. I fully expect if Michigan play Michigan State with the Final Four on the line, Michigan State should be favored probably by 8 or 9 minimum. Like y'all are just better than us and you own us.
Yeah.
But on the off chance that Michigan stole a Final Four from this Michigan State team,
Mm.
after all these teams have both been through, Card, I can't believe I'm saying these words. I cannot believe it. I hope it happens. I hope Michigan, I mean, obviously, I hope they beat Auburn, but I want to see the rival that owns us. I want to keep lining up the things that seem impossible for this team because I think this team has turned a corner mentally in a way nobody saw coming. And they've answered. I mean, this whole weekend was doing two things people said we couldn't do:
Hmm.
beat the turnover team, beat the rebounding team.
Yeah.
Did both. Now beat the best team in the country. If
Yeah.
God forbid you somehow beat Auburn, it's going to be a completely different conversation.
Unreal. Unreal.
All right. Thank you for making time for this. This was 40 minutes longer than we said it would. Card, I miss you, my friend. You, on a real note, while I'm being emotional, sleep deprivation. Everybody listening to this, let him know in the comments, please. Carter has crushed this in a way that's insane. Insane. I basically stepped away and we haven't skipped a beat. This week has been the best week performance wise, views wise in Sleepers Channel history. And it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with Carter and our team and the producer. So show him some love, say thank you. But from me to you as a friend, my brother, and my co-champion, toast to a second weekend, hopefully, for us both. Toast to you for putting so much work and effort into this and making sure that I can be a family man this week. I love you, man.
Here,
Thank you.
here, brother. Here.
To the
Congratulations.
Sweet 16 we go. We'll have more for you in the next week, everybody. Thank you for watching.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.